Good morning. Good morning. We are live. Why is the adverts? I see YouTube just now. Yes, and we're live. Whoa, that's a really bad camera angle this morning. Right, we're live. We're live. What's going on with the video quality this morning? I need to change that. What is going on with that? Anyway, we're live. We've got. I'll need to sort that out for the one for tonight. Right. The this is a fantastic story. Celtic player. The UK media drools over Celtic winger Mikey Johnson. Mikey Johnson that just can't get a game for Celtic. The Celtic winger produced a fantastic performance as the Republic of Ireland returned to winning ways in a convincing 4-0 win against Gibraltar last night. First half goals from Evan Ferguson and Mikey Johnson steadied the game. The boys' winger was outstanding, it says, during and scored the second international goal before the half-hour mark. The Irish Daily Mail has described Johnson as exciting and one of Ireland's most dangerous players before being taken off, which is something absolutely bizarre. To be honest, I had a look at the goal and it was a bizarre goal. When he hit the post and the ball ricocheted off the post and he just managed to get the ball and drill it back into the back of the net. So, what do you think about Johnson? He's a product of the Celtic Youth Academy. Well, he didn't. He has came through the Youth Academy. He's been at Celtic since 2017. He's managed only 80 appearances so far, scored 11 goals. Last season, he was put out on loan. At 24, he should be playing regular, Mikey Johnson, which is something that Celtic really need to sort out. It isn't ideal and warm on the bench when you look at the wingers that we've got. Can you see Mikey Johnson getting his chance? But the media are absolutely raving about Mikey Johnson this morning. So tell me your thoughts in the comments about the madman Mikey Johnson. What's for breakfast? Said Prawn. I've no idea. I've not had it yet. Hale Wales says Ewan. Danny says morning, Baz. Tam Max in the house. And James Smith says morning from Lanark. Mikey Johnson pulling one right out the bag. And the media are going absolutely ballistic for it. Liam Scales also played the game, played part of the game also, but 4 goals to nil away to Gibraltar. Let's say, just face it, I mean, Gibraltar are whipping boys, unless you're Celtic, of course. Remember, Celtic went to Gibraltar, played a team from Gibraltar, and got beat. It said there's another one that says that the tricky winger was the most impressive. Unbelievable to think Mikey Johnson got man of the match. Mikey Johnson that cannot get a game for Celtic. Mikey Johnson went on to say, "It was my first start this season. I was feeling a bit rusty, but I was buzzing to get going again. I needed to get on the score sheet tonight, so I am delighted. I'm delighted. Mikey Johnson getting on the score sheet. He cannot even get in the team. For Ireland, we hope that Johnson can continue to kick on. It's highly unlikely that he's going to feature at Celtic Park. His compatriot Liam Scales has managed to turn things around with his Celtic career. Is Mikey Johnson the second player that can turn things around? What do you think with that? Can Mikey Johnson turn his Celtic career around and get a regular game? He's at that age where he really needs to be playing. I mean, I know he got a lot of plaudits, in Portugal last season, but when it comes back to Celtic, he just doesn't seem to be doing it. Talking about everything Celtic, we all know that Joe Hart is in his last year of his Celtic contract, the 3-year deal that he signed under the previous manager. And Brendan Rodgers has been looking for another goalkeeper. We all shouted out the fact that we needed a goalkeeper in the summer. But a few people have mentioned this guy on the channel, and hats off to you guys. The Real Madrid backup goalkeeper, Andriy Lunin. Celtic are interested in the 24-year-old who started the first 2 games of the season for the Spanish Giants, but has not played since the arrival of Kepa from Chelsea. Joe Hart runs out at the end of the season. We currently have Scott Bain and Benji Siegrist as backup as options. Benji Siegrist is getting nowhere near the team. Scott Bain was given a new 3-year deal purely for the fact that we need the Scottish contingent for Europe. But the Lunin, who joined Real Madrid back in 2018, has not had a lot of competitive minutes. He was put out on loan a couple of times, And it looks like Celtic have been eyeing them up. Now, from their point of view, and looking at the guy Kaler also from Liverpool, the two of them are backup keepers. And let's face it, they're not going to sell them during the winter window. I don't think that they're going to sell them during the winter purely for the fact that if they're backup keepers, you're not going to sell your best backup keeper during the season just in case anything happens. We wouldn't sell Scott Bain, for instance, say Dundee United or Aberdeen or Hearts or someone decided to come in for Scott Bain. There's no chance that we would sell Scott Bain halfway through the season. So I think these are kind of deals that, unless Celtic can push some really good money towards these teams, that we're not going to get a keeper during the next transfer window, which is only a couple of months away now. It's not even that, yeah, it's only about a month and a half away, the next transfer window. Celtic will be looking to try and get a goalkeeper in because, let's face it, if we want to get a goalkeeper in, preferably we want to get a goalkeeper in before the end of the season so that the guy gets settled into the team. I don't want us to be going into the Champions League next season with just bringing players in last minute like what we did this season. I think that we need to get players, and it's paramount that we get players in so the team, the core of the team is bedded in. We're going into the Champions League next season. I mean, we're talking about next season, and this season is only a quarter of the way through the season. But it is that important to us. Next season is that important. When you put it this way, Joe Hart's leaving us. We're going to be left with Scott Bain or Benji Seacrest, and none of them are up to being Champions League level. Unfortunately, I think if we were going to the Champions League with those two at the back, it would be the same old Celtic. Be the absolute same old Celtic. Will we go for the Real Madrid keeper? Uh, James Smith says we'd be a better chance of getting a boy from Real Madrid on loan with an option to buy at the end of next season. That's no good for us getting him on if we're going to get him on loan, we have to try and get him on a year and a half deal, at least minimum. We have to get a player in so that the team is settled, the back line is settled, the keeper's happy with the defenders he's got in front of him. The defenders can trust the keeper. It's not just about the goalkeeper trusting his defenders and who's in front of him. Joe Hart does a lot of shouting to the player in front of him. It's about the players in front. I mean, we're still thinking that we're going to probably going to have Carter Vickers and Liam Scales. That could be your pairing going into the start of next season. Those two guys, I want to make sure that it is absolutely paramount that they trust the guy that's behind them. Getting someone in on loan at the start of next season, you've got all that to build up. Can we get them in at the beginning of the transfer window? This is the thing. And when it comes down to loans, don't really get people in at the start of the transfer window on loans, unfortunately. It seems to be the type of thing that's done at the end of the transfer window. By then, it's too late. By then, it's too late getting a goalkeeper in. So we have to go out and buy a goalkeeper, in my opinion, or manage to get a deal done so that we get them right at the start of the pre-season. They have to get this goalkeeper in pre-season. Anyway, Ali Jones says, "Morning, Troops. What have you missed? You've missed some weirdly strange news about Mikey Johnson. Mikey Johnson got man of the match for the Ireland game last night. Got man of the match and scored his second international goal against Gibraltar. The one Ireland won 4-0 against Gibraltar last night. And Mikey Johnson's been getting absolute plaudits from the media, saying that he was the best player on the pitch. And Mikey Johnson managed to get man of the match, which is kind of strange for a player. And Mikey Johnson did go on to say, he said, look, it was my first start of the season. I did feel a bit rusty. It was important for me that I got the goal for Ireland, and I'm completely buzzing. Let's hope that I can keep on going. The fact that he can't get a game for Ireland is completely. Who from Real Madrid? A goalkeeper from Real Madrid. That's the way that James says. That's the way that Celtic work buys. I would rather buy him. I would rather buy a goalkeeper also. And the fact I do think it's paramount that we do get a goalkeeper in, and it's one of these things. Brendan knows we need a goalkeeper. We need a top level goalkeeper, especially going. There's no use going down the Celtic route of buying in a prospect. Buying in a prospect goalkeeper for next season is just going to be. Look, we've got the money in the bank. We know the board cannot hide behind this now. The board cannot hide behind the fact that we do not have the money to go out and buy a goalkeeper that has played at the highest level, or has played at a team for the highest level, say. Mike Powers, hail from the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. That's fantastic. And other Celtic news kicking about this morning, apart from the fact that Mikey Johnson scored a goal, um, Ange Postecoglou's been talking about the main reason why he took the Celtic job. Other ones, Mikey Johnson issues Netherlands warning as Ireland look to finish on a high. Can Ireland beat Holland? I don't think so. But anyway, that's it. Rogers now keen on top Real Madrid player, despite interest in £15 million Liverpool. Are we going to spend £15 million on the Liverpool goalkeeper? This is what Liverpool are now saying they rate Keller, right? So are we really going to spend 15 million? The thing is, the Celtic have got the fear. Celtic fans have got the fear when it comes to goalkeepers. We spent £4.5 million on a goalkeeper that was fantastic against us, and he turned out to be absolutely rubbish. But then he left us, and he found his goalkeeping gloves again. The fact that we've been linked with the Real Madrid goalkeeper, we've also been linked with the Liverpool goalkeeper, and it's been suggested that Liverpool are now wanting 15 million. There's absolutely no chance that we're going to go out and spend £15 million on a goalkeeper. Not a chance. If Celtic won't go out and spend 6 million on a striker that we bid 4.3 million for in the summer. They wanted 6 million. The Brøndby striker. I mean, I don't know what he's done this season, but there's no chance that we're going to spend 15 million. I mean, the links to the Liverpool goalkeeper haven't went away. They've not went away. The rumours are still saying that they would love a move to Glasgow, but can we make it happen? Can we make it happen? He's coming into the end of his contract. I can actually see there's more chance of that happening. The fact that he's coming into the sort of tail end of his contract, but it's hard to see. I mean, Celtic wanted 15 million from, and Liverpool wanted 15 million from last summer. There's no chance that he's going to drop down that much money that Celtic are going to get him for next to nothing. Not an absolute hope in hell, even though we're sitting with 70 odd million in the bank. And we're guaranteed, remember, when we're going to the Champions League next season, we're guaranteed 60 or 50 to 60 million. So Celtic need to take a punt this next coming up windows, if you ask me. Celtic really need to take a punt. The fact that we've got all this money coming in from the Champions League, we're sitting with 70 odd million, 72 million in the bank. You know, we're not losing money everywhere. Every game at Celtic Park is selling out. So even though there's less away fans getting into the games, Celtic Park is selling out for every home game. Now, with that being said, the money is there. Celtic need to take a massive punt on a goalkeeper before they need to do it this window, this coming window, this transfer window is more important than ever that Celtic get someone in. Butland looks decent goalie, and they got him for a fraction of that price, says Big Bruce. Ali Jones says, we've got the cash, but they won't do it. We all know what the Celtic board is like. James Smith says, Ali, we have the money. Yeah, we do that. Lorna, good morning, Lorna. She says, we need to spend the money on something. We're spending 20 million on a development centre and a pitch for the women to play on, but that leaves us with 50 odd million. 50 odd million. Green Machine says, top of the morning, great to be a Celtic. Is that spend it, says Ali Jones. Spend some of that million. Even if look, we've got that money sitting in the bank. We know that we're going to get 50 million. Say we're getting 50 million guaranteed from the Champions League next season. We go out and we spend 10 to 20 million on a goalkeeper and a left back. You're bound to get a top level goalkeeper at Celtic for at least 10 million. The problem is the cover that we saw linked with the Real Madrid goalkeeper. Yep, that we've spoken about that already. The fact that we have been linked, and it came out this morning. Where's the story? Celtic have been linked with the Real Madrid goalkeeper Lunin. He's on Ange Postecoglou's. He's a Ukrainian international. The scouting team have been watching them and we've got an ongoing analysis. I don't know how they've been watching them unless they've got a B team that they've been watching them. The 24-year-old started the first two games of the season for the Spanish Giant, but has not played since they took the Chelsea goalkeeper Kepa on loan. Joe Hart, his deal does end at the end of the season. It is believed Joe Hart does want to go to America, play the final couple of years of his career in America, and just to get the big bucks, basically. Good morning, Baz, says Richie. Top of the morning, says Jones. Right, and other Celtic news is all about Mikey Johnson this morning. Everyone's going crazy about Mikey Johnson. I can see some of the rags are starting to jump onto the story about the goalkeeper also this morning. Um, they're now saying Andriy Lunin versus Keller. That is the clear vision for Celtic. That's the clear vision for Celtic. Are we? I mean, we had the chance of going for a goalkeeper this summer that has just passed, and we could have got him for around about 6 million. Celtic seen it in their wisdom not to go for the goalkeeper. I mean, it was said that the goalkeeper, the um, Croatian goalkeeper, was going to be about 10 to 12 million. I think he ended up getting sold for about six million or something. Celtic had a chance to go for that goalkeeper then, but they didn't. They didn't. So I mean, they obviously have someone in mind, and they obviously think that they're going to go and try and cherry pick him at that exact right moment in time. It might all come down to his contract, but we don't know. Celtic obviously need to do something. Give me Lunan Baz all day, says James Smith. Is he better than the Liverpool backup goalkeeper? You've got to remember it's two backup goalkeepers that we're talking about. It's not as if we're trying to steal a number one from another team, someone that's doing it on a week to week basis. That would be my preferred choice, is trying to find a keeper out there that's good enough that Celtic could afford to bring to the club. I mean, there has to be someone that, and it's maybe worthwhile watching some Champions League games over the next couple of weeks to see if there's any goalkeepers out there that we maybe fancy. That's something that I will be doing. So the big news this morning is obviously the fact that Real Madrid goalkeeper is on the Celtic staff. I mean, the Celtic scouting system, they have been looking at him. One of the positions, there's a new story that's just came out. One of the positions appear ripe for a new arrival at Celtic Park as a new shortstopper. Tops of the wanted list are the two keepers that we spoke about, the Liverpool goalkeeper and the Real Madrid backup keeper. This says the 36-year-old brought a heady mix of key saves and unmatchable leadership. This is talking about Joe Hart when he came to Celtic in 2021. Former Manchester United star breathing new life into his career in a white hot atmosphere that Glasgow guarantees. Um, Hart has been fantastic. I mean, let's talk about the goalkeepers that we currently have. Joe Hart has been absolutely fantastic for Celtic. He did playing the way that he did under Ange Postecoglou, this passing out through the back. I don't think he really agreed with Joe Hart, but he has made some fantastic saves for us. He's also cost us some, let's say, dubious goals, some goals that he could have maybe got to. But overall, when you think about it, Joe Hart has done well for Celtic. You then look at the backup keepers. The backup keepers that we've got, Benji Siegrist is missing in action. Benji Siegrist is completely missing in action, and there's rumours going around that he's just not interested. He's happy. He's happy. Good morning, the Govan Emerald Bus. He's happy just sitting around collecting his wages by the looks of it. He wants to then bugger off down to Australia to be with his missus. If that was the case, Celtic should be getting him out on loan. Surely they should be getting him out on loan and getting him some game time if he's not going to hang around Celtic. I mean, what's the point of having a good third goalkeeper like Benji Siegrist that can't even make the bench? We then have the Scottish goalkeeper that is Bain. And even the manager has said that Scott Bain is an interesting backup keeper. He knows that he can trust him. He knows that he can trust him. So he knows that he's a good backup choice. If he's happy doing that, I mean, I did say towards the end of last season that I thought that Scott Bain should maybe move on for the good of his own career, if anything. I mean, he's getting to the age where, he's only got, after this Celtic 3-year deal's up, he's not got a lot of football left in him, playing wise. Is he happy getting to the end of his career and going, yeah, well, I've got money in the bank, but I didn't really achieve anything during my career. I got medals, but I got medals for sitting on the bench. As a person, that's bound to eat a bit away of you. I mean, surely you're better going out and playing some football. But then again, maybe he's happy winning things and sitting on the bench for Celtic. We need to buy new keepers, says Richie. Jim Dillon says, good morning, Baz. Just walking my pitch. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you. James Smith says, Ukraine been good keepers. Ireland haven't had a decent one since Shay Given. Shay Given was a Celtic player that were let go for next to nothing. And he went on to have, and this is the problem with Celtic. We always go back to this. We always go back to the fact that Celtic let players go far too young in their careers. and they aren't given a chance, so the players then decide to move on. And Shea Given had a fantastic year. I mean, there was at one point people were talking about getting Shea Given back. The exact same with a young Celtic goalkeeper that played against Barcelona and had a fantastic game against Barcelona, but then was let go. He went on to have a fantastic career for Scotland. So it is one of these strange anomalies that Celtic always have. Benji Siegrist did make an impact when he was at Dundee United, but he was also the keeper at Dundee United that went down. The Real Madrid keeper, can we get him? Can we get him on loan? I don't think a loan deal is ideal, especially when loans tend to be the later end of a transfer window. As I said, I'm going to stick by it. I'm going to put it down. We need to get a goalkeeper in before pre-season starts, so that the goalkeeper starts pre-season. You know, that mob across the road managed to do it with a half decent goalkeeper. Celtic really need to be doing it. Ideally, you want to get them in this transfer window that's coming up. So let's get back to the big Celtic news before we call it a day this morning. There will be another live at between 5 and 6 p.m. Start just after 5 p.m. So the lives going forward from now on will be the Celtic news from 9 a.m. Celtic part time, and then there'll be a live between 5 and 6. And then if there's a watch along on the other channel, that'll probably start at 8 o'clock. If there's not a watch along, there'll be a live at 8 p.m. on this channel also. So I'm going to put that on the community tab so everyone can see that. With that being said, have a fantastic morning. The big Celtic news is this morning is Mikey Johnston. Mikey Johnston gets man of the match. Mikey Johnston gets man of the match for Ireland, scoring his second international goal. They say that he's one to watch for Ireland, and he's going to be one of the most important players for Ireland. We're talking about Mikey Johnston. Is it going to be the case that Celtic are going to lose Mikey Johnson and he's going to go on to be an absolute star? It's going to be 5 o'clock Celtic part time tonight, or around about 5 past 5, 5 o'clock Celtic part time, and probably 8 p.m. because I don't think there's any football on tonight. Mikey Johnson. Let's just leave that there. Mikey Johnson. If we say it enough times, it might become a good player for Celtic. Mikey Johnson.